It's time to breathe again on the latest BOFA Sports webcast, streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Just a little bit pumped up for a few things that are coming up here. So y'all catch me normally, I'm a little monotone. It's time to breathe again on the latest.
It's so time to breathe again.
But here we are. But here we are on another Tuesday evening. So glad y'all could join us. Patrick, let's start with some college football here. So yes, you understand NBA and NHL playoffs are going on. We will get to that in a little bit. But there are some things that are going on in college football, particularly, and you know it's going to have an effect on college sports going forward, of course.
128 team playoff, baby. Let's go. Everybody makes it. Participation trophies for everybody.
Just paychecks. Just
paychecks. Yeah, they got these new bowl games coming out, man. You should see some of them, dude.
I'm still waiting for that Charmin toilet bowl to come out.
Charmin toilet bowl is coming out. What was the other one? Little Dicky got one too. Everybody got a bowl.
The Oscar Mayer Beanie Weenie Bowl. Like I wasn't like that. I'm waiting for all these different bowls to come out. But as it stands right now, so of course you know with the college football playoff, of course it went up to 12 teams last year, which is really, really funny because you remember, Patrick, and I know you do when I'm asking this, but I know you remember when the people in the committee were saying, no, we're not going to go up from 4 because we got this contract and we want to make sure that the contract expires before we start bringing up teams. And then all of a sudden went from 4, they skipped 8 and went to 12. So now, and I guess that's what happens when there's so much money to be made off of this.
But NIL changed everything, man. NIL changed everything. Because at that point, everybody knew, hey, we're not about the student athlete anymore. We're about the money athlete.
Yeah, the athletic student. What's going on, Aaron?
What's up, man? Hey, Aaron, by the way, I found your YouTube channel and I subscribed to it.
Yeah, yes. So did you get to catch his interview and stuff?
I have not watched it yet, but I finally found it yesterday, and I was like, okay. So I hit the subscribe button, and I'm gonna watch it. I just haven't had a chance to check it out yet.
Yes, yep. I was actually going to do that after the webcast. I said, yep, I need to watch Aaron's interview. So Aaron, my bad for being a little bit late on that. Patrick got me beat, or as you called him, Catrick. Hey,
Patrick found a way. Whatever.
Oh boy, good to see you in though, Aaron. And we got the college football playoff up to 12 teams. They just announced last week that they're changing the seeding. We're not necessarily changing the seeding, but your top 4 seeds or your top 4 at the end. So whenever the last rankings for the college football playoff comes out after championship Saturday, those will be your top 4 teams. Of course, you remember last year it was the top 4 conference winners who got the bye. So now it's straight, basically 1 through 12. The seeding remains the same. 5 will play 12, 6 will play 11, 7 will play 10, 8 will play 9. And now, we hate ASU and never want that again. Yep. And about that, Aaron, that leads me into, well, before we get into there, so Patrick, what is your feeling about changing that part of it after a year?
I mean, look, we knew they were going to do some changes. After 1 year of the seeding, I think that they probably should have ran it a couple more just to see, I mean, look, I know they didn't like Arizona State getting in there, but they earned it. they worked their butts off to get there, and I thought they deserved an opportunity. And that's what this whole 12-team playoff ranking was about, was to give those lesser schools, I guess. I really hate to say that because they are D1 colleges, but I guess those lesser schools an opportunity to compete against your Alabamas, your Georgias, your Penn States, Ohio States, Michigans, Notre Dames, whatever. You know what I mean? And I thought Arizona State deserved to be in there, just like I thought SMU deserved to be in there. They had their opportunity. Did they shit the bed? Yeah, but ultimately they had their shot. That's all you're asking, And so I thought it was fine. I think they should have probably ran it for a couple more years just to make sure. And if they didn't like it after 3 years, then reseed. That's kind of how I felt about it. But I mean, they how the NCAA is. They like to jump the gun. They don't know what they're doing. So here's another prime example of just doing that.
I agree, because it seems like this was one of those things that we always talk about with the NFL. How the NFL will come and they will
public outcry.
Yeah, just cave into the public outcry, and people will complain, and all of a sudden they're saying we're gonna become reactionary again and do some wholesale change on it. That's the feeling that I have with what happened here with the college football playoff too. I would have liked to see them run it. And like, if you're gonna do something new, at least give it 2 years. At least 2 years.
And I loved the emphasis on winning your conference. I love that because it forced you to play so that you could get that higher seed. And granted, I know that you're looking. Well, who was it that didn't? Who was it that was a lower seed that won their conference?
The lowest seed was why is it escaping me right now? Whoever the 5th seed was, I cannot.
No, not the 5th seed. The 1 through 4.
Oh, that was Arizona State.
Arizona. Okay, so I see. I like that. I like the Arizona State. They got a bye, and they had their opportunity. The lowest seed was Clemson.
Nah, it was Clemson was the 11th seed. The 12th seed was it? What? No, you're right. It was Clemson. Yeah, it was Clemson.
Won their conference, but they
That's
were
right.
the
lowest one.
5th team out, I guess. The 5th team or whatever.
Yeah, you're right. Yep, that was. It
so,
was.
I
was thinking about SMU, but my bad. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I think SMU was 10th.
They were 11th.
11th.
Because
it's all in the past. However the case may be. I do not agree with it. I think like you said, I think they should at least give it 2 years. But I did like the fact that your conference winners, there was a statement for those conference championships. And I like that because I'm an SEC fan, and the SEC championship is always a big deal. So that was like the one conference I didn't really feel like there was going to be any lack of game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the other ones, I guess you kind of always run that risk, especially if you're already in the playoffs. You don't want them to set out because they're already in. This made it where you had to play. So I liked it. I thought it was good. I love the fact that Arizona State got the 4th seed and they had a bye week. I thought it was great.
Yeah, me too. And I mean, I guess that you will still have your conference champions get in there, but I guess it's just going to depend on just 1 through 12, basically your top 12 teams, whoever they are, and then blah. Doesn't matter if they did win. Like if you have somebody, you had Oregon, because Oregon was the overall number 1. They were undefeated and they won the Big Ten. So you could have a situation like with Boise State. So Boise State was the 3rd seed. I forget where they were in the rankings overall, but basically that would be the spot. I think they were kind of teetering between 8th and 9th in the rankings. So they would have been in that 8-9 matchup if we're going with.
So they would have been in there with Tennessee or Ohio State.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so that's what we're gonna run with as they wanted to run now. And then your 2 seed was Georgia. And then Texas was the 5th seed playing Clemson, who snuck their way in, actually beating SMU in that ACC championship. And so, I mean, I'm with you with everything you said. Just if you're gonna try something new, because it was already a drastic change. You went from 4 to 12. We were over here thinking, well, maybe they'll go to 8, which I think is the ultimate number for me. I mean, I think 8 would have been perfect, but you knew they were going to go to 12 because the more money that's rolling in there, especially when you get to implement some of these bowl games a little bit more, you knew that it was going to go on up. And now, back to Aaron's point, so now, of course, they're talking about going to 16 teams. So here's the thing with this. And Patrick, this is right in your wheelhouse because when you worked at the Hilton Sandestin, you saw all those coaches come through in those meetings, those SEC meetings. Mm-hmm. And they are down here, they're down in Florida, as you know, right now, going through, talking about basically how this is going to look. Now, we all know the 2 power conferences in college football are the SEC and the Big Ten. The commissioner, Greg Sankey, was talking about what that could look like if you have a 16-team playoff. Y'all remember when we were talking about this, we brought this up, I think briefly, Patrick, a couple of months ago, when they were talking about basically doing a power play between the 2 conferences, and they were going to have half of those I know the SEC is used to winning. I get it. Look, I know the Big Ten, they done gotten all happy and stuff because they won the last 2. And so,
we already went back to the fundamentals and we're like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
Seriously? Michigan? Then Ohio State?
If you
everybody's like, where's Nick Saban at?
It is so funny.
That's back.
Because if you take a look at any of the shows down south, I mean, and if you can, I mean, check out the SEC shorts that they have, and they do the feds, the accent, they do everything perfect. And it was basically just like what Aaron said. They were like, what are they doing up north? They'll be winning these titles all of a sudden. But that power play between those 2 conferences, they would have half of those spots if there was a 16-team spot or 16-team playoff.
Hold on, I do got to say this. 2 teams, Michigan wins, Ohio State wins. Look at what the rest of the SEC sports did. They were like, oh, hell no, that ain't happening in our time. we got 13 teams in the College World Series this year.
Dude,
everybody's like, nah, whatever football's doing, we ain't got no part of that. No, just play and get in. That's it.
Oh, Aaron took a shot at Saban. He said he's too busy with Trump trying to eliminate NIL. Trying to eliminate NIL.
Nick Saban just needs to stick to his funny commercials and that's it.
And it's crazy with Nick because I do believe I think he could be a voice. Because if they're gonna do some things to try and I guess regulate NIL or name, image, and likeness and the transfer portal, I can understand wanting him on that committee, but I guess I just don't think a committee's really gonna do much at this point. It's too far.
It's too far gone.
Yeah, it's too
far gone. I mean, NIL is already like they're so far ahead of the NCAA and committees at this point. There's no turning back. Oh, and Aaron, I like your comment. It's because y'all play games in the cold up north and the South can't handle it. Spot on, baby. Spot on. That's the reason why I play baseball. Because October, we're done. We play in the Heat. That's where I play. When it drops below 70, I have a problem.
Yeah.
Start hurting. I'm like, I'll stay inside. Be like, you're getting fat. I don't care. Heaters. My man boobs. That's my heaters.
It's so funny you say that, because that's what I was thinking too. You're like, dude, Charles, it's 75 outside. Like, dude, we can't play basketball. It's 75 degrees. It's perfect out here. Oh man, it's too cold. Like,
oh, man. My body starts hurting. No, I can handle 70 and above. It's like 65 and below, and I'm like, That's like snow weather, and I gotta go inside. I ain't doing that.
Snow weather. That's a snow day. No,
it's a snow day. We gotta call in sick.
Canceling everything.
Can't go to work. What happened? Trucks froze over. Get out.
They walked
all over the road.
Aaron said 70. Good Lord.
Hey, dude, it's funny, man. Like, I was a catcher in baseball all through high school, and played a little bit overseas a little bit, and let me tell you, give me 90 degrees in catching gear, I'm good all day. I was like, I don't dehydrate, I don't do any of that stuff. I cannot play in cold weather. Football, leave that to all those others.
It's so funny that you say that, because I always look at it like this. Growing up in Texas, we're used to that heat. It's 8-9 months out of the year where it seems like we're at 80 degrees or higher. So if it does get cold, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's such a coolant. Let's go. Let's get a little bit, because I know we're not going to see it again. And so, if we catch a 30-degree day, I'm out here. I'm like, look, it's cool. I get to put on some more clothes, because you can always put on layers. You can't always undress. And so,
hey, dude, I step out there on that baseball field. It was 30 degrees. I'm like, Coach, I gotta go put my thermals on.
It's 70 degrees. No.
Thermal. Coach, can't do
it. We don't even have that in supply right now, Patrick. Well, these are going to.
Oh no, I had that in my bag. I had that in my bag.
Aaron said he experienced negative 60 in 2019. Look, I remember with my nephew, he was going to school at Purdue, and they had canceled classes. He said, yeah, we're not going to school today. It's too cold. I'm like, that's the reason? Yeah, it's too cold. It's like a 30-40 degree wind chill outside. No.
Dude, remember down here when it's like December, January, and it's like 20 degrees outside, and you see all the Canadians jumping in the ocean? Dude, they're in Speedos jumping in the ocean. I'm like, y'all are crazy. I'm out.
Aaron said, I'm going to come out there with the boots and the pumpkin spice. I sure will have that cup of tea. or what is it, the pumpkin spice lattes from Starbucks?
Yeah, you can have all of that. I'll drink me a Long Island.
Negative 60. My goodness. I don't know.
Anything past like 30 degrees, it's all the same. It's too cold.
It's just too cold.
It's too cold. I can't deal with it.
Oh goodness. So with the SEC and the Big Ten wanting to do the power play, I guess the power play was they were going to have half of these spots. Sankey came out and said, and then maybe this was yesterday or maybe it was today, but basically he said, well, if we do it that way, I guess sitting back and thinking about it, they could actually lose positions. If you do it the way they were talking about at the start, with the power play, the SEC getting 4 spots, Big Ten gets 4 spots, the ACC and Big 12 get 2 spots, and then the other 4 just go to whoever, I guess. But if what Sankey is saying turns out to be shorts weather until -5. But if it do turn out, I can see where Sankey would say they could lose some spots. Because with it being 16 teams, you assume the SEC would probably get 5 of those spots.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would have happened this year if you think about it. So you had Georgia, you had Texas,
Tennessee,
and Tennessee. So they made it. Alabama, Ole Miss, and South Carolina all were in the top 16, 15 or 16. And so that's
you're looking at 6 teams right there.
Yeah,
that's 6 teams. And then you look at, I mean, and this is just to put it into retrospect. I mean, like if you're looking at baseball, you got 64, and in baseball, 13 of the 16 teams is going to the dance. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. That's crazy. I mean, I think the 12. I mean, me personally, I thought the 8 was perfect. Going to 12, I thought it was a little bit of a stretch, but then NIL kicked in, and now I don't care. But if they go to 16, I mean, there's no bye weeks at that point because that's just straight up play. And how I guess would they do a seeding of whoever they did, and then do a reseeding with whoever won?
It's going to be anybody in the top 25 now. They getting it.
Yeah. Why don't they just do that in the top 32? So, you know what? Go ahead and do what basketball did. And just did,
you know, March Madness this up.
March Madness it up, and then let it be. You got to win 5 games to get a bowl game. You got to win 2 games. You got to win 2 games to get a bowl game, and then you got to win 3 games to get into the NCAA playoff.
The college football would have a longer season than the NFL. That would be funny.
They might as well just play year round. Hey, we're national champions. Who we got next week, Coach? South Carolina, I think. Oh, okay. Start the season. Oh no.
We'll take a month off for spring ball to make sure we have our transfer portal window and the NIL window, and then we get used to the new teammates, and then we're right back at it.
Right back into the play. Let's do it.
I mean, it just because that's the question you have to ask yourself now, especially if they do end up going to 16 teams, which that's probably going to happen. I see that happening in the next 2 seasons. If they can go,
I was going to say 3 to 5. I was going to say 3 to 5.
Man, I think
it wouldn't surprise me it happened. They throw it in as like a little thing, like
slide that right in
next year. 16 teams. Wait, when did that happen?
Hey,
Dabo started whining, and we wanted 16 teams. So
the last show that they do Sunday at noon when they're announcing the final rankings, and then it's ESPN restage is coming on. Oh, we got a bonus.
Oh, and by the way, 16 teams. See you next week.
Yeah. What? Yo, the committee.
You gotta elaborate on that.
Your committee didn't finished. The committee didn't even know. They thought their work was done. And then ESPN makes this announcement. You're like, what?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
And the committee's like, oh, all right, public outcry. Here we go.
Yeah. Yo, the public's like, we didn't even get the chance to outcry.
What? Welcome to the generation of AI. We asked ChatGPT, and we just like, you know what? ChatGPT told us go ahead and go 16 teams. We went 16 teams. Thanks. Large language modules. There we go. ChatGPT. They're part of the LLM.
The LLM.
It's seriously what they call it. It's called large language modules. But hey, you know, thank you, ChatGPT. We're going 32 teams, baby. Woo! I mean, 16. 16. 32, 64, whichever.
It will be 32. I think maybe they'll have a middle point at 24 or something before they get to 32 teams. By that time, we'll just
straight double it from moving forward.
by that time, Patrick, will just be 2 conferences anyway. So
it'll be the farm league for the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
That's all it'll be.
Oh boy. So of course we will keep a lookout when it does go to 16 teams, because I think it's pretty much it'll be a done deal in at least 3 when we do go to 16 teams, and then we'll see if it's just the SEC and the Big Ten when the ACC and Big 12 pretty much get.
Well, I mean, go ahead and include the Pac-12, because I think it's 2 teams.
Aaron, is LLM the phonics of the 2020s? It pretty much is.
Yeah, it is. That is everything that AI is built on, especially when you start doing the embedding and talking about the ChatGPT Copilot, and they got all kinds of them out there now.
Between LLMs and SEOs and oh my god, it's so much. Well, let's get to what's happening in the playoffs right now. So
you're making it a game.
Yes, and so as we are talking right now, it is tied between the Knicks and the Pacers. Of course, the Pacers are up 2-1 in that series, and golly, that is 7 minutes left in the. Almost 7 minutes left in the second half, and they're already at 51 points. So
yeah, there's no defense.
Jeez.
Either that, or they're shooting at 90%.
Right.
One of the two.
So
they're shooting from 90% from the field, and there's probably no defense. So
right. They're like, we'll get it back on the offensive end.
Yeah. Hey, 4 of y'all cherry pick down there.
Yeah.
I'll get the rebound and throw it in. Don't worry about
it. So the Pacers, of course, if they win tonight, they'll go up 3-1, and Game 5 will be back in Madison Square Garden in New York come Thursday night,
where the Pacers will close it out.
Yeah.
In those 5 games, just like I said.
Oh man, yeah, because I think at this pace, I don't see the Knicks keeping that up.
Pacers are playing fast, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And they are just subbing just look like hockey players out there subbing.
Yeah. And over on the West, in the Western Conference, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're up 3-1, and they have the chance to close out the Minnesota Timberwolves at home come Wednesday night. I want to say this, particularly about that series with the Thunder and Timberwolves. Can we, and when I say we, I mean y'all in the media.
Not like this media.
Right. The mainstream media.
Because we get it right. It's like we always get it right.
We get it right. We get it 100% right 80% of the time.
I love your statistics, Charles.
Yeah. Hey, that's probably a little bit generous because you know us, man. We don't mind it. If we are wrong, we'll be right back on here saying we were wrong. So, but
yeah, I could don't believe me. Go back a couple of years when I had to wear a Alabama shirt.
Mm-hmm.
God, yeah, sick, dude.
Oh goodness, man, I felt bad for you, man, because you was all itchy.
Yeah, I was like a crack fiend. I had to wear that shirt.
Oh goodness. Classic BOFA sports. You have to go ahead and put that on a t-shirt. And so
a picture of me wearing an Alabama shirt.
Yeah.
Tyrone Biggums.
Yeah, right. And you know how the memes go when a Georgia fan lost a bet, they had to wear an Alabama jersey.
Oh, that means it would suck.
But I want to say this about particularly Anthony Edwards. Can we stop putting him out here like he is the next coming of Michael Jordan and that he is the face of the league, especially when you have Game 4, you're down 2-1. The superstars or stars. They got to step up. What?
If this is Michael Jordan.
Aaron, BOFA Sports is sponsored by Sex Panther. 60% of the time, they are right 100% of the time. Back to you, Russell Williams. Aaron, you have no sense. But it is so funny. Is that going to be our first sponsor? Sex Panther.
Hey, look. As long as the check cashes, hey, let Charles. What did I always say? I don't care what it is, as long as the check cashes, we all good.
Yeah.
So, Sex Panther, what's up?
So can we stop putting Anthony Edwards out like he is the next coming of Michael Jordan?
That's his son, Charles.
Stop. I've heard that.
That's his son. Everybody knows it.
He's good, right? Like, I'm not saying that he is a garbage player by any means. He has a lot of talent, great abilities. He can score from anywhere. I mean, he led the league in 3-pointers made this year. And that's probably not even the strength of his game. Like, I mean, that's just something that he's added. The strength of his game is when he's able to attack the rim and get to the foul line. And he is a good defender. But there are times, even during these runs that the Timberwolves have had to the Western Conference Finals, the last couple of seasons, where he hasn't shown up.
Yep.
It just did not. It was a complete no-show. Yesterday, man, it was amazing. Minnesota kept that within 2. That they lost that game by 2 because the bench and the supporting cast showed up. We had Alexander Walker putting in 20+ points. Dante DiVincenzo had a good game in terms of hitting the 3-pointers from the corner. Even Rudy Gobert had a good game, and, but when you needed Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle to step up, didn't happen. Did not happen. And it just seems there are games where you're looking at them and then you can see where people are saying, oh, man, you could be the face, you could be the guy who's taking over. And then there's other games, which will happen back to back. There's other games where he doesn't look aggressive. He looks tired. Like yesterday, he looked tired. And that was probably because OKC,
they're throwing 9 people out there, dude.
Right?
They're throwing. Right. I mean, that's what I saw. And then on top of that, I don't think Anthony Edwards had less than 42 minutes on the floor. He's exhausted. And I mean, so when I'm sitting here looking at what the Pacers are doing, and I see what the Thunder are doing, dude. They're just running the ball, dude.
Deep teams.
Yeah. So I mean, it might be 5 games for both of them.
And Aaron pointed out Anthony Edwards is just continuing the Minnesota sports tradition of disappearing in conference championship games like the Wild, especially the Vikings. It goes on and on and on. Yep. Aaron's right about that. It has been, they get to this level, Minnesota sports in general, they get to this level and can't make it to the Super Bowl, can't make it to the NBA Finals. Anthony Edwards is the latest right now because I'm with you, Patrick. I mean, we both said the Pacers and Thunder would win the series. And I mean, I had 6. I think you had 6 for that one too. You have the Pacers in 5.
I had the Pacers in 5 and the Thunders in 6. And I think the Timberwolves are good enough to carry it to a game 6. I don't think the Knicks are good enough to carry it to a game 6.
Yeah,
they're not as deep as they're not as deep as the Timberwolves are, and the Timberwolves aren't that deep.
And okay, so about that series, going over to the East, and you got I mean, the Knicks are still there trying to hang right now, but people are acting like Tom Thibodeau made all these adjustments And he's like, oh my gosh, he played 9 people. He played DeLone Wright and he played Shamit. And like, I watched that game, like the whole thing. And Tom Thibodeau's not playing those people if Jalen Brunson didn't get in early foul trouble. And then the guy who comes in to replace him, Deuce McBride, he got in foul trouble too. So he didn't have no choice. And people are acting like, oh, Tom Thibodeau made all these adjustments. Okay, he changed up the starting lineup a little bit. He brought in Mitchell Robinson to start instead of Josh Hart. But those other dudes, they weren't going to play.
It's one thing to play your guys because you play them. It's another one to play them because you have no other choice. When you play them because you have no other choice, because like when Brunson went out because of foul trouble, I mean, dude, he was like, what was he at? 4 in the first half, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So he didn't play the last 6 minutes of the first half, 4 minutes or whatever it was. So when I was watching that, he had no choice, because if you want Brunson in the second half, you have to sit him. You have no other choice. But here's the thing: he did it last year. When he didn't play when he went into the playoffs and he had to play these guys that he hasn't seen, he didn't know how to substitute them. That showed last game too. He pulled the guy that came in for Brunson first. I can't think of his name.
So it was McBride.
So it was McBride. McBride, didn't he hit like 2 or 3 shots in a row and then they pulled him?
Because he got in foul trouble too.
Oh,
and so that's why those other dudes. Yeah, and so that's why those other dudes came in, and that's the point that we're making. Shamit and Wright, they're not playing if those guys don't get in foul trouble.
Right.
But since he had to put them in there, now people are trying to sit there and say, "Oh, Tom Thibodeau showed he can adjust and that he can play people." Like you said, he did not have a choice but to play them. that wasn't one of those things where he said, he didn't have like a novel idea to say, we're going to go ahead and use some of this stuff that's been chilling on the bench.
What are they doing on the other side of the bench? There's a lot of substitution going on there. Isn't that illegal?
Yeah, right. And so, I mean, with this game, very crucial, of course. I mean, I think that goes without saying. But yeah, if this game goes the Pacers' direction, I think the Knicks are in some deep trouble because of just the depth. Because with this game being close, especially if Brunson and McBride and Karl Anthony Towns, if they're not in foul trouble, those guys are going to play 40 to 45 minutes tonight. Mm-hmm. This game is way too important. And Tom Thibodeau is going to go with the guys who's been playing 40, 42 minutes the whole time.
Yep.
This is simply put, that's just the trust that he has. Whereas the Pacers are going to continue to run their stuff. They're going to continue to bring that depth out. They are very comfortable running in a whole new 5 in there, and they're going to continue to do it. Now, of course, when it gets so many time, you'll see Tyrese Halliburton in there. You'll see Pascal Siakam in there. But
you're 5. You'll see your 5 in the money moments.
Mm-hmm.
But, dude, to get you to the money moments, everybody's got about 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So we'll see how this game goes. And then we'll see if OKC puts Minnesota away tomorrow night. They're at home, and we'll see if they play with food. Okay, you're here, you're at a 3-1, you got a lead, you got them coming home. Let's see how OKC is showing that maturity. Put the team away and get that rest. Over on the NHL side,
I will say this before we move to the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
That will be the one game where I would say that if Minnesota won, I don't know if the Thunder would be playing with their food, because like that is my team where I was like, they're always ready to come back for second. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
So I kind of feel like if that got to game 6 and Minnesota won then I'd be like, okay, Thunder playing with their food, they kind of messed up, and now it's the game 7. You know what I mean? But that game 5, I think that's a crucial game, because I think that that Timberwolves team is
they're capable
of doing that game. Because I kind of feel like they would come back for seconds. You know what I mean? But if it goes past that, the Thunder's got to win Game 6 regardless. That series has got to end in Game 6 at the latest. If it goes to Game 7, then I agree with you at that point. Like now the Thunder's playing with their food, and they shouldn't have done that.
And so over at the NHL side, so Edmonton looks strong, Florida looks strong, even though Carolina did save themselves from being swept. Carolina won 3-0, and so there will be a Game 5 in North Carolina in the capital city of Raleigh come Wednesday night. But Carolina, I said, goodness gracious, I know I have Florida winning that series, but I thought
I did not see him like that.
Yeah.
And when so we talked about it last week, and you said, how we said Florida will get into those dirty areas and they'll fight you for it. Dude, they live in those dirty areas in this series, man. They are not. It's like the camera can't span fast enough to catch them getting in the dirty areas where they're already in it. You know what I mean? And those blue liners, dude, they're playing some freaking phenomenal hockey, dude. That's the best I think I've ever seen Florida playing like that.
It's the thing, man, because Carolina is a forechecking team. They are really strong with their forechecking. They spend a lot of time in the offensive zone, and they are throwing shots, just throwing the pucks at the net. And before you know it, they're around 40 to 45 shots. I don't think they've broken 30 in this series yet. I mean, Florida has been in these gaps. They are hitting them. They're hitting Carolina before they get the chance, before Carolina gets the chance to even do it. Now, in Game 4, you saw more of Carolina, and maybe just because you're down 3-0, you're desperate and you're not trying to go out like that. But you saw Carolina finally start to impose their style. And Carolina has to, if they're going to win this series, because Florida's going to come back, and they're going to make adjustments. So Carolina they're going to have to find a way to win these, like you said, these dirty games. A 2-1 game, something where they're going to have to maybe figure out a way to counterattack. If Florida's getting aggressive, maybe you can get a stick in the passing lane and you can get like a 2-on-1, an odd man rush. And Carolina and the goaltender, Anderson came back. He was benched, and then he came back and shut out the Panthers. So we'll see how that turns out. But Florida's been pretty strong in these first 3 games. And over in the Western Conference, Edmonton is looking strong too.
God, Edmonton looking good, dude.
They look very strong. And Dallas, if you're Dallas, I think what you have to do, because you're
sweating right now if you're Dallas.
Yeah, because you got to beat 6-1. You got to beat 6-1 in Game 3 and 3-0 in Game 2 down in Dallas. This might be, if Dallas is going to win this, just hold on and see if you can get some counterattacks to some odd man rushes too. They're gonna have to turn this into one of those, like you said, Patrick, dirty games. 2-1, something like that. Because right now Edmonton is just flying around. Edmonton is coming with the speed. McDavid is going downhill. Draisaitl is going downhill. Their defenseman Nugent Hopkins is going downhill. Everyone's just playing downhill with no fear of anything from Dallas right now. And Dallas is going to have to turn this into maybe they need a big hit. Somebody just lay a body on McDavid. That's it. Like somebody hit him. Somebody hit Draisaitl.
Hook him or something. The guy is just he's running. He's skating all over Dallas, dude. and they're not doing anything about it.
There's no resistance, and that's what I'm saying. And you can't
I didn't expect that from a Stars team that has played the way they have played up to this series, and then almost like tuck their tail and run against the Oilers. I was like, that's not the Dallas team that I predicted to win this series. I can tell you that.
And we'll see what happens. They're down 1-0 first intermission. I think Dallas is in a good spot considering that they lost 6-1. So if you can kind of but they're gonna have to dirty the game up, like you said. Someone got to put a shoulder in the McDavid, put a shoulder in the Draisaitl, because they're playing with just free reign. They are
just on a blind side, checking against the boards, keeping them there for a minute, and then I don't know. Dallas
in battles against the boards, like you got to make this game pretty dirty.
Yeah, and if you're not willing to do that, it ain't.
You're going home.
Dallas will be going home, and they cannot go home because I predicted them to win. So they need to show up.
They'll be going home.
But like you said, they got to win those dirty games. That 2-1, that 3-2 game, they got to win that. And right now they're down 1-0 going into the second period. So let's see how they skate on the second period.
Yeah, they'll be going home in 5 games, and that in that case they'll be staying home because the 5th game is back in Dallas.
Oh, well, I mean, be like, honey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm going ahead and unpacking because cleaning out my locker right now. I'm going ahead and unpacking my bag. I got my stick here, that up in the closet.
Oh boy. Before we move on to the next topic, Aaron had said something about the Hurricanes. Yeah, first conference finals win in 15 tries. Yeah, because they were swept. They were in there in 2023, got swept by the Panthers. And then I forget who swept them before. I want to say it was Pittsburgh who swept them. I forget the year. It was either 2016 or 2017. One of those years where Pittsburgh won the Stanley Cup. But yeah, so maybe because Carolina now, I mean, they don't have any pressure on them. They're down 3-0. Everyone's expecting them to go get swept. And then they won game 4. Let's see if they can build some things up. I guess they can lean on what happened in the Stanley Cup Finals last year when the Panthers were up 3-0 on the Oilers, and the Oilers almost came back and won that series. Took them to a game 7, and that game 7 was 2-1. So we'll see. The final topic. So, Patrick, let's talk a little bit about Caitlin Clark. Now, I remember you had said that you was going to give he was actually going to give LeBron props for giving.
Oh yeah, hey LeBron, give him props, man. Here's my thing about this whole thing, and I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. LeBron made a tweet congratulating Caitlin Clark on a triple-double, and shout out to Caitlin Clark for what she's doing, man. I mean, she's got 50 games in, and she's 3rd on the triple-double list, and she's 52 games into her career, and she's already 3rd. So she's going to smash that record. Let's just put it that way. But this is not really a shout out to LeBron for making the comment on a tweet. This is to all the haters out there that's giving him a hard time because he gave a shout out. Shut the hell up. I'm going to put everybody on that STFU club for that one because, dude, look, and everybody knows, I am not the hugest LeBron James fan by no means. Like, I do not care for him as a player. Good guy off the court, I guess. I don't know him, but as a basketball player, absolutely not. Get off the man. I mean, seriously, dude. Like, he made a tweet to somebody for congratulating them on what they did. It's a game of basketball. As Charles would say, we're humans first. Then we play basketball, or then we play football. Get off of him about that. That's stupid. He's not a racist because he gave Caitlin Clark a compliment. Jesus. And Angel Reese sucks anyway, so there you go. Jump on me. I don't give a shit.
So So with Angel Reese, I was asking, LeBron James. Yeah, I seen Eric, and he says Diana Taurasi, eat your heart out. You know, the thing with Angel Reese, this is what I wonder about Angel Reese, and then I'll ask a question about Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese, I to me, Patrick, I don't know. She seems like the modern day Russell Westbrook to me. Just throw the ball up against the glass and get the rebound.
That's Angel World Peace right there. I'm gonna call her. She's Angel World Peace.
And so, like, she's a beast on the she's a beast on the rebounds, but I think she's gonna have to advance the game a little bit more just going forward, because I think like the rest of the teams and the rest of the players in the WW or the WNBA are seeing that, and so she's gonna have to get the more dribble skills, go ahead and get by people, bring them outside, develop the shot, and not just throw the ball at the hoop and
hope for the best.
Yeah. Aaron said, brother, what? All right, so Aaron, look, if this is what you were talking about, go and look at some of those Russell Westbrook highlights, and then go back and look at the older episodes of this webcast and how Patrick was calling him Mr. 50-50.
I call him Mr. 50-50 because he'd shoot a three-pointer. He would miss. He would get his own rebound and then put it up for a layup. That's how he played. Or he would kick it out and get another rebound and then put a layup. The dude would never hit a three-point shot. He still can't hit a three-point shot. But he'd shoot a three-pointer, miss it, it bounced right back to him. He'd put a few, and then claim he was good. So I called him Mr. 50-50 because he missed his first shot and make his second one off of his own rebound.
And it seems like sometimes
that's how he got his stat padding.
And it seems like that's what Angel Reese does sometimes. And that's why he said, so I'm sure that's why Aaron's like, brother, what? Angel Reese compared to Russell Westbrook? That's why. Not saying they're the same type of player, but
at least Russell Williams.
Yeah, it's not Russell Williamson. There we go. We didn't make that. And so
at least Russell Westbrook would at least shoot it. It would come close to making his 3-point shot. I don't even know if Angel Reese is even in the bucket vicinity.
I mean, I've seen her shoot a couple, or hit
an ugly shot, dude.
It's not consistent. No,
it's so ugly.
But with Caitlin Clark, look, I what I'm sensing from Caitlin Clark is she getting a little frustrated because these other women, they're playing defense. They're getting into her. They're bumping her, and she's not having that free reign. Come around the screen, you can come off, you can catch it. Look, Caitlin Clark is good. She's going to get her shots, but
you might have to step back a little further, and maybe like at the other free throw line.
Yeah, but she's getting a lot. But she seems like she wants every foul called. Now, look, I don't want to call Caitlin Clark a crybaby. That's not what I'm trying to do here. But it does seem like sometimes she wants every single call. And I'm like, look, hey, go to the gym.
Yeah. You get bumped off. You seen your shoulders? She got a little broader, man. She bumped up a little bit, just a little bit.
And she's gonna have to keep that up because you remember, like, she
walk out there like Dennis Rodman, dude. That's gonna be funny.
No, I don't think she's. I mean, but look, you're gonna see like those subtle improvements, like what you've seen with Steph Curry over the years. Steph Curry, very, very slender, like slightly built, and now he can work. You got some shoulders on him now.
Yeah,
and he can take it when people are trying to be physical with them, trying to bump them off spots, trying to fight around screens and all that. And Caitlin Clark's going to have to do that same thing. instead of wanting every foul call. Like, I remember she was trying to get the foul call at the end of the game against the defending champion New York Liberty. And
she also wanted that call at the end of the Atlanta game too.
Right, and they were good defensive play.
Just good defensive play.
Yeah, they weren't.
You're not going to get that called in. You're not going to get that called in the WNBA. They let them play in the WNBA. So, like you said, Clark's going to have to. I'm not going to sit and say take your finesse, your women physique out of it, but you're going to have to get a little stronger. You're going to have to learn to come off of those bumps because these girls are not. They haven't liked her since day one.
Right.
You know what I mean? So she's fighting an uphill battle. So they're not going to give her an inch. She's going to have to take everything that she gets, and she's going to have to work hard for it. And that was the same thing with Curry. You know, he had to work hard for that. I remember that dude coming in, and he looked like that.
Yeah, there's not.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, he had to work for that.
Aaron said, could you imagine a WNBA version of Palace at the Palace? You know what?
Yeah, I'm about to bring somebody up.
They be scrapping. They be scrapping in the WNBA, though. I love it.
I love watching. I didn't think I was going to like watching it as much as I do, but I like watching WNBA over the NBA.
It's just because there's not a lot of flopping in the WNBA.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, they're playing ball, and the refs, for the most part, let them play. They're not calling any ticky-tack of touch fouls. You basically have to throw a woman to the ground to get a call at this point.
No, you don't thump them in the back of the head, and you look at LeBron doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah. Look up to see what the
He's looking to see if the camera saw him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right there. Yeah. Oh God.
I think Jimmy Butler did that one day. Literally, he did that. So that doesn't really happen a lot in the WNBA. I mean, those women, they come in there, they playing, they're gonna bump you, they're gonna be physical. And look, I don't think it will get to that point, Aaron, where we got a Malice at the Palace, because there's just too many rules in place now after the Malice in the Palace. But
what was the dude's name that came out of nowhere?
Yeah, that was Jermaine O'Neal.
Jermaine O'Neal, dude, he cracked me up, dude. It don't matter how big your TV is, he come out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and that hop.
Aaron said every time LeBron gets fouled, he hits the cringe. I can't believe this is my life pose. And I'm saying, like, LaFlop. I mean, because again, this dude, and this will be before we wrap on up here, so we can spend a little bit of time on this.
Oh, well, before we go to LeBron, let me do one shout out and then we can go.
Yeah.
Shout out to DeWanna Bonner for coming in to the third place in the all-time scoring.
Oh yeah, that's right. And she's with the Fever now too.
She's with the Fever now too.
A member of the Connecticut Sun. But LeBron, I've seen a few games with LeBron in them live. When I tell you, Patrick, he looks like a cartoon character. I'm serious. Like, this dude is.
Have you ever seen the TikToks where you scare the goat and they go? Like that looks like LeBron, dude. Like, you scare him in the.
But and that's crazy to me. This dude is every bit of 6'8", 260, every bit of it. And I mean, when you see him on the court, it just doesn't look fair. These other players just look like just small. Like,
dude, the one time dude, and I have to say this every time I always talk about LeBron and his flopping. That one time, Muggsy Bogues sent him into the third row.
Muggsy Bogues playing.
Whoa.
What? Nate Robinson.
Nate Robinson, that's who it was. Nate Robinson sent his ass into the third row, and I was like,
goodness.
Muggsy, what was he like? 4'11"?
He was literally 5'3".
What was Nate Robinson? He's 5'5".
Like 5'10", 175, and
Oh,
he's
okay.
in 6'8".
Shorter than that.
But he's
Dude, he get LeBron, and LeBron's
into the fifth row, and I said,
no,
hey, no,
size, dude.
Yo, hey, Aaron, Patrick didn't mean that. He said,
baseball is my sport. I don't pay attention to LeBron.
He said, I was gonna say, did Spud Webb drain a 3 over him too?
He might have. What about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? He probably scored on it too. Who knows?
He meant Nate Robinson.
I meant Charles has it. Every time I tell this story, Charles has to tell me he was Nate Robinson because I always say Muggsy Bogues every time, dude. For years I've always said Muggsy Bogues. I don't know why, but it's like that's the first thing that comes to my mind when I remember LeBron getting hit. He goes into the fifth row, and all I see is this about this tall knocking him into the fifth row. I was like, what a loser.
Patrick, what is coming up for Bro Epic?
Wow, what a transition. Okay, so we are going to do our parents versus kids kickball game. We are in the final stages of getting that show wrote so that we can get out and do it. And then me and Brantley is going to go in a little bit of a different direction with Bro Epic because we're going to do a lot of challenges between me and him with some different things that we're going to do. So it's going to be a lot of me and Brantley challenging each other for basketball and some baseball, baseball, football, cornhole, frisbee, and some stuff like that.
Awesome. Aaron, thanks for coming on, man, and bringing the energy like you always do. I will be checking out that interview that you had at the NFL.
Yeah, definitely. We'll let you know next Tuesday. I will have it watched by next Tuesday.
Yes.
Guaranteed. I want to see it because when you mentioned it, I have been looking for you, and you don't come up by your name, so you're a little bit of a tough one to find. Just so you know. I don't know if anybody's told you that, but I looked you up by your name, and there's so many Aaron Van Buren, and that I couldn't find you.
So Patrick, you should have went to the BOFA Sports page because Aaron left a comment on there during one of the shorties. Now I don't know when you went to go look, but yep.
No, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. It's all good.
It was yesterday. No, what was it? Today's 27th. It was Thursday. I was looking on Thursday.
Okay. Yep.
And I finally found it, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna watch this, and I'm gonna subscribe to this. I'm gonna watch this, and so by Tuesday, I'll have it watched.
Yes, Aaron. And again, thanks for coming on and leaving the comments and keeping us.
Keeping us in check.
Yeah.
Apparently, we'll say anybody's name. It don't matter.
Oh goodness. And for this, so just be on the lookout because interviews are coming. Look for those starting in July. It seems to be a good day where you can start this. It'll be during the summer. Baseball will still be operating, but have the All-Star break for a little bit. So there'll be a nice little pocket where we can pop in with some of these interviews. And then hopefully we can have that continue during football season. Maybe we do another show on another day when we are not talking about college football mostly because we spend a lot of time on college. And then we'll get into the NFL too. So we won't forget about it, but football season, we be kind of heavy in it. So be on the lookout for that. And the logo designs it's in my head. It is trolling, and I got your contact, Patrick. So I will be reaching out to her soon. And yeah, just big things coming for both Bro Epic and BOFA Sports. So be on the lookout for all of it because I think this summer is going to bring a lot of good things, and I think y'all are going to like it too. So stay on with us, continue to watch, and we appreciate all the people who have subscribed to the channels, the people who continue to watch We value it, we cherish it, we appreciate all the love that y'all send. So with that, that will conclude this edition of the BOFA Sports webcast. Y'all make sure y'all visit the BOFA Sports YouTube channel, smash that subscribe button, and follow the BOFA Sports Facebook page. So everybody take care, have a great evening, and we will be back next week. Take care.